Hey everyone, how's it going? Hassan here. It's vlog time. So, this vlog is all about the Apple Watch. So, if you don't know, Apple has announced their own smartwatch. It's been rumored for a very long time. It is finally here, and I kind of wanted to just discuss it, my thoughts about it, just my plans for it and everything, and kind of a little bit of ranting too. I got some things to say, so I'm ready to kind of get into it. So the Apple Watch. So by the way, a year ago, last October, I posted a vlog. And the vlog was called something like why I think an iWatch could be huge for Apple. And I went through my reasons for why I think smartwatches are a big deal and what Apple could possibly do with theirs. And I just rewatched it. And actually most of the stuff that I said was either announced or could possibly happen with apps that could be created. So turns out the Apple Watch is exactly what I wanted and more. So to answer anybody's question, yes, I want an iWatch, and yes, I plan on buying it. Or Apple Watch. I'm so used to saying iWatch now, it just got stuck in my head. Apple Watch, there we go. So you can go back, and I'll put a link in the description box below. You can go back and watch my old vlog about it and see. But essentially, the Apple Watch, first things first, I want to say this. There's been, just like with anything with Apple, you have people that love Apple to death, and you have people that hate Apple, to their grave they'll hate on Apple. And so you're always going to have different sides of the same sort of thing there. And there's people that hate the Apple Watch, and this video, I'm telling you my opinion. Feel free to disagree, feel free to agree. It's up to you entirely. Nobody's forcing you to go out and buy an Apple Watch. And just because somebody that does go buy out an Apple Watch, that does not affect you. You should not be hating on somebody for something that they buy like that. So I do not appreciate people that hate on things for no reason. And I have my own little rants about that as well. So I want to kind of throw that out there. I have my opinion about it, but I think it's fair to respect everybody's opinion. And so that's definitely something important. But anyways, the Apple Watch, essentially, it does everything that most of the smartwatches really do nowadays. You can get your text messages, your phone calls, and you can respond back. You can control your music. You can do, all the basic functionality, like customize your watch faces and everything. But it also has more apps and stuff in it. It's got a lot of different apps, and developers can make their own apps essentially. And they're the apps for the iPhone technically that will interact with the Apple Watch. But there's a lot of possibilities there. There's a lot that it could potentially do. And what's interesting is, to me, I have a Pebble, so I have a smartwatch. I've been using it for a few months. I know what the smartwatches are all about. I've wanted a smartwatch for years and years and years, ever since I was a little kid. And you had the Power Rangers, going to the corner of the juice bar and what is it, Zordon? That right there, I wanted something like that. I wanted it, And for years, I had always said that the idea of a smartwatch would be amazing. And before people even thought of that, it would be that big, people would be like, why would you want that? That's stupid. Watches are, nobody wears watches anymore and stuff. People still say that, but, and smartwatches are coming back, and Apple's making their own Apple Watch now, and it's going to be big, So it's something that I've always wanted. And the reason being, you see, the way that I see it, and I think that this is why there's some hate towards the Apple Watch as well, because people don't fully understand it. For example, the iPad, right? When the iPad came out, there was a lot of backlash. People were like, it's just a big iPod Touch, a big iPhone without the phone. What is the point? And next thing you know, tablets are everywhere. I mean, the iPad is huge, right? So it's one of those things that until you have the device in your hand and you're using it in your daily lives, sometimes it's hard to tell exactly how they will impact your life, because there's not really a true market out there. Yeah, there's other smartwatches, but they haven't really developed their own market yet. They're still relatively new, and people have them as little accessories, but they don't really do anything that crazy right now. You know, it's one of those things that until you have like a good smartwatch, which personally people can disagree. I think Apple Watch is going to be a good smartwatch. It's hard to really get an idea for what it's for, especially if you've never had a smartwatch before. I've had one for a few months. I know what they're all about. And the thing about it is you have people that are, you know, against technology in a way. Like, people are like, everybody doesn't talk to each other anymore. Everybody's all, you know, they're just busy on their phones all day, and, you know, there's no communication and this and that. And yeah, absolutely there is that, you know, that is present. But the fact of the matter is, people have to understand the world is changing. Technology is becoming huge. The way we interact with other people is completely different. I think it's very important to still have that face-to-face interaction, but a lot of my friends are not people that live near me. It's not possible to have that same kind of interaction that I would have had as a kid, because that was a whole different generation at that time. I mean, things have changed so much. You have to understand that the way we interact with people has changed so much, thanks to, in part, you know, smartphones like the iPhone and other devices. And these things really change the way that we interact with life, you know? And so to me, you have people that say they don't want technology to take over their lives. Well, you know, I agree. I think we should take over technology in a way. You know, we should be able to use technology in a way that improves our lives, in a way that, yeah, I mean, you're in a way that you connect yourself with the rest of the world. And to some people, connecting yourself with the world is not using technology. But for me, in my opinion, it is embracing technology. There's different ways to connect to people. For example, you're watching my YouTube video right now. I'm connecting with you. And technology is amazing because of that. So with the Apple Watch, I mean, right now you already have, you know, an iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, you know, MacBook, whatever. They all connect to each other. Everything just works together. It feels like you're in your own little ecosystem, your Apple ecosystem, if you will. But that applies to things like, you know, if you have a bunch of Microsoft products or a bunch of Sony products or whatever, you know. And the idea is technology works together. Technology works for you. You don't want to work for technology. You know, if I'm trying to do something, if I'm trying to, you know, like work on a project online or something, I don't want to have to struggle with, all right, let me copy this file here, and then I got to save this one and do this and rename this and then import this file in. I mean, you're wasting so much energy on getting the program to work for you, you know? Whereas, in my opinion, technology should be making your life more convenient, more quick, more easy, and to free you up to be able to do other stuff, you know? Time is money nowadays. It really is. And to me, what I like about my iPhone and iPad, and now I got a MacBook recently, it's made things so much more convenient for me. I can be looking up something on my phone, and then, you know, when I pull something up on my MacBook, I can load that website right in and continue where I am. Whatever reminders I have will pop up on all my devices. So even if, you know, I don't have my MacBook with me, I set my reminder on my MacBook, and then I go to work or something, and I don't bring it with me, but my phone has a reminder. Everything just seamlessly connects, and it makes my life easier. And because of that, I'm getting to the Apple Watch, essentially. I know I'm kind of talking general technology here, but it's related. The Apple Watch further connects everything together. Because you have the idea of the MacBook, you know, or laptops in general, desktops. You're stationary, you know, laptops give you the ability to move a bit more portable, you know, but you're connected to this device, more or less something solid, and it's there, and it's defined as, you know, just this being right here. Sit down, you do your stuff. When the iPhone came about, you had the power of the internet at your fingertips. You could carry it around wherever you were. The iPad was kind of a mix of the two, you know, and it had its own uses. The Apple Watch now, in my opinion, is kind of its own thing. It's one of those things where it's not just a matter of accessing the iPhone or accessing, the internet at your fingertips. You are a part of the internet in a way. Your watch is an extension of you. Not only is it an accessory that you wear, but it almost feels like it's a part of you. At a glance, you can view certain things related to all this crazy technology going on in your pocket and your phone. You can view everything right here and connect with different devices. I mean, a watch feels very personal. It's a part of, it's on your arm. It's a part of you in a way. Your phone, I can leave on my desk and put there. But a watch, you're going to have with you. And so this interactivity that you do with it, it makes it feel like it's more of a part of yourself. So it's an extension of this trend of getting these always connected devices, all these devices that integrate with each other. It's an extension of that, and I think it's going to take things to the next level. I've used my Pebble a lot for, it doesn't even do that much compared to the Apple Watch. But what it does do, I've used it quite a bit for, and that is, just now, I just dismissed the notification without even, I'm so used to it now, my phone buzzed. I don't know what was on my phone. Was it an email? Was it a tweet that somebody sent me? Anything like that? I don't know. But, I'm like screwing up the sofa now. But my watch tells me. And I can be recording this video and just glance down for a second and I would know what it said. Now, or you can just dismiss it and ignore it and move on, which is what I did. And I did it so naturally, I just didn't even realize it because I probably could have showed you and used that as an example. So it's like a part of me now. Like it's just there. I just do it. I'm so used to that now. If somebody calls me, I know who's calling me. Like at work today, I had my phone in my office. It was on the charger, and I stepped into the office next door, and I'm helping somebody out, and I'm getting a phone call, and I'm seeing, I'm like, oh, okay, this is who it is. Let me dismiss the phone call, and then I'll respond later. So it's like you have access to everything right here. It's a part of you in a way. And some people may not like that. The Apple Watch is not for everybody. You're not forced to buy it, but it's a companion device to your iPhone. It's an extension of everything, essentially. And whatever all these apps that they create, there's so much that you could potentially do with it. For one, Apple Pay, when they announced, just going to the store and just taking my wrist, and I have now paid for my products. That's awesome. Like, that's so convenient. And it's so much quicker, and anything to get me out of long checkout lines. If somebody has them, they're like, quick pay, just go swipe, done. That's killer to me. That is going to be awesome. You have reminders or whatever it is. There's so many different things that you can do with it, and it's interesting because they also added new layers to it. Some things that I didn't even expect. There's that one mode, I forget what it's called, where you can. If you have another friend that has an Apple Watch, I could draw something on here and they would get it on the wrist. Or I could, tap on here and it would vibrate. I could I think it says you hold down 2 fingers and you can send your heartbeat, which that's a little weird, but it's intriguing. You could actually send your, a heartbeat to somebody. You're that connected. Like I said, it's an extension of yourself in a way. So it's wearable technology is really interesting in that sense. And you can even there's a walkie-talkie feature too. You're so connected with everybody. It's like my friend, who's in New York. I could literally walkie-talkie, hey, by the way, check this thing out. I'll send you an email or what. I don't know. You could just quickly just say something and boom, he gets it. Or a little message or something I don't even know. There's so many uses for it. Just quick little things. Instant access. It's as if he's right here next to me, but that's not possible because he's all the way in New York. And it's that idea of the Apple Watch is like a part of yourself in a way. It helps you interact with technology and everything else, whether it's your iPhone, everything else. And it's so interesting to me, that whole concept of technology being more and more connected with people in a way. And so that really intrigues me about it, about the Apple Watch. And there's so many apps that it already had and that they'll be working on. And just in general, in terms of features, one thing about the Pebble that I have, you have 3 buttons here on one side and 1 button on the other side. It's not a touchscreen or anything. So I'm limited and I can't respond to text or anything like that. If it was a touchscreen, maybe I could do a bit more. And with the buttons that I have, I'm limited at what it can do. But Apple did something interesting where we figured it would have a touchscreen, but there's 2 levels of touch. You're just tapping and you're like pushing down on the screen. And so that's double the amount of inputs and interactivity that you can have. You have Siri that you can use to talk. And you have the little dial that they showed, the digital, I forget what they called it, but the little dial that you can use to scroll through things and everything. And you can push on it to get to the home screen and things like that. Adding those kinds of inputs really improves what you can do with some of these apps. Now, obviously, it's a small screen, you're limited, and it's not meant to replace your iPhone. People talk about, why would I get an Apple Watch? I already have an iPhone. It's not an iPhone on your wrist. If that's what you're thinking, you're missing the point completely, entirely. It's a companion to your iPhone. Sure, when you think about it, some of the functionality is very similar. Like, I can respond to a text on my phone. Why do I have to respond to it here? But the entire point is, you're not tied to any device, really. I mean, this is a part of you. You're receiving a message almost directly to yourself. It's coming to your watch, but it's like you are the recipient of the message, and you can respond back in kind. And all these different apps that I can do, having that interactivity and input is really interesting to me. There's so much potential with it, really, and that's what excites me. And so that's why I'm definitely looking forward to the Apple Watch. There's so much that they can do with it. I mean, even just Twitter, seeing certain tweets and favoriting it or whatever. The idea that, like, with iOS 8, they're already doing so many of those interesting things with handoff, I think is awesome. And I cannot wait for my Mac to be updated with Yosemite so I can do that. The idea of I'm on my laptop or, like looking something up, and then I have to head downstairs to take care of something. Well, pick up my phone, I can continue where I left off, on that or something. The idea that, like, I can walk from one room to the other, or do from one act to the other, do different things, and yet I'm not worried about having to pull up a device or having to log into something. It just works. It's just there. Technology is a part of my living, in a way. With iOS 8, if your phone is plugged into charge, you can say, "Hey Siri," and Siri turns on. So the other day, like, I get up and I'm looking at my closet, my phone is back near my bed, and I'm just like, "Hey Siri, what's the weather like today?" And it tells me. I don't need to go over to my device, unlock it, click the weather app, or actually even just use Siri. I don't need to walk over to my device, hold it down. What's the weather like? I'm not tied to anything. I am free to walk around as I please. But thanks to technology, from wherever I am within limits, within the same room, as long as my phone can hear me, "Hey Siri, what is this?" And Siri is pretty powerful now. Set a reminder when I get home to do this. I do that all the time when I'm in the car. Set a reminder with my voice. Send a message to my friend about this. Like, I'm not tied to technology. Technology is working for me. And that is why I think the Apple Watch really takes things to the next level, because I can use this to do more. I mean, there's certain situations where voice might not be the best. You're not going to be at work, talking out loud. People are going to be like, "What is this person doing?" So in that kind of a situation, you have a watch. Do quick little things, done. And it's an extension of technology. It's an extension of who you are. And I know a lot of people are like, "You're not talking about the device itself, like each little feature." That's not the point. The point of the Apple Watch that I think people aren't understanding is the concept, and that's what I want to talk about with the video, this vlog. It's that concept of the Apple Watch being an extension of technology, becoming a part of who you are in a way. And some people will hate that. Some people want to stay away from technology, far away. They want to use technology for the very basics, and I respect that. Again, everybody's different. But don't use that as an excuse to hate on people that do like it. There's people that are like, why would you buy that? It's such a waste of money. Look at these Apple fanboys and stuff. And I have a little rant about that too. But like people about like saying stuff like that, or such a waste of money. Look, you don't understand it, So that's fine. That's your own deal, you know. But I understand the appeal of it. I like the Pebble, and I'm very excited about the potential of the Apple Watch. Just the first version of it, the Apple Watch early next year coming out, is going to be pretty cool, and I'm excited to see where they go from here. You know, what they expand upon and everything. I think there's so much more that they could do with it also. But there's so many possibilities. It really is so intriguing to me. And I think I've gone on long enough. I don't even know how long I've been talking, to be honest, but I hope that made sense. I hope I wasn't just rambling for the sake of rambling. I hope that people understand why I think an Apple Watch is important. Because to me, it improves my life in a way. If I can make technology I don't have to think about using technology, I just use it. That to me is what is intriguing. And people, you know, you go from I have never had a Mac my entire life up until a few months ago. I did not know how to use anything. You know, I didn't. I was so used to a PC. And going to a Mac, there are some changes. You know, there are things that like I'm trying to use, and I'm like, but where's this setting or where's that? What do I do with it? But some of the things in it, it just kind of does for you. You don't have to think about it. And when I really thought about it, you know, I was like, huh. So I don't have to worry about. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a specific example. I don't have to worry about like. I don't know, saving this file. I can't even think of anything now, of course, but it just does it for me in a way. And at first, that kind of scared me a little. I was like, because you're not used to it. You're so used to having to tell your computer what to do. And so I was kind of like, yeah, what am I supposed to do? I need these options. I need them. But then once I started using it, I was like, well, actually, I don't need it. I don't have to manage all this stuff anymore. It just does it for me. And when I thought about it, I was like, that's kind of what my iPhone does. That's kind of what my iPad does. There's so many things that it just does for me. I don't have to manage it myself. Multitasking is one thing that like Android users, you know, are always like, you know, I have all this functionality, I can control this and that is great. You know, I think there's definitely a good thing about that, and I certainly can appreciate being able to do that. But at the same time, it's not a negative to not have control over it if it is controlled for you well, you know, efficiently. And I think my iPhone does that. There's so many things I don't pay attention to because it controls it for me. It takes care of that. I don't have to think about it. It just works. And that's why I'm also excited about the Apple Watch. And that kind of brings me to my final little point here. Because I'm saying so much stuff about Apple that's, you know, so much praise and everything about Apple. And, you know, there are so many people that are like, I'm sure they're going to be like, you're an Apple fanboy, this and that, and so they're not going to listen to my opinion at all. But I don't think that's fair because, you know, first of all, the definition of fanboy varies from person to person. Am I an Apple fanboy? I don't know. Sure, I guess. I'm a big fan of Apple, so I guess if that makes me a fanboy, then yeah. But some people use the term fanboy as like, you would blindly defend anything that Apple does or whatever. It's not that. It's that over the past few years, I've gotten more and more Apple products, and they've just worked for me, and I've learned to trust them, and everything just works together just fine. And it started with, up until a few years ago, I didn't have anything Apple. People did, you know, growing up their entire lives. I didn't. I was PC, everything. I didn't know anything about Apple really, and I honestly thought of it as like, you know, it's so weird. Why would I ever really need to worry about it? Who cares? So I'm not coming from the mentality of, you know, I grew up with it, so it must be amazing. No, Apple won me over, so that's why I'm a fan, and it comes from a while ago, you know, originally getting an iPod. I think I had an iPod Touch first, or did I have a Nano? No, I didn't have a Nano. I think I can't even remember now, but I think it was an iPod Touch, and that was really nice. And I just the quality of the product and it worked. It worked as a music player. The apps were really cool, and they got me hooked with it. You know, I thought it was a really solid product. And when I was trying to come up with figure out what phone to get, I was like, I already know how to use an iPod Touch. It works for me. And so why not get something that's actually a phone too? I can just combine it all. Instead of having multiple devices for stuff, I'll have one device that does it all. And that's why I got an iPhone, and I loved it. I mean, it did what I wanted it to do, and it was one solid device. And as time went on, they announced the iPad, and I was like, what if I wanted to take notes in school and stuff? I have my laptop I can carry around, the big laptop, and at one point I even had a USB attachment with like a little tablet I could draw on. I was like, well, what if I had a device that's much smaller, more, better form factor, easier to carry around, has the touchscreen I can write on. I already know how to use an iPhone. It works for me. So an iPad is a very familiar input device. And so I got an iPad and I knew how to use it. It worked. And it worked great. And it worked differently from my iPhone in different uses. I had my iPad for my solid, like the web browsing, video, whatever. My iPhone was for more, personal connections, or when I'm mobile or walking around doing stuff. So they each have their separate uses. And then, once I had those devices, I was like, I want to share that content. People come over, they're like, no, show me your pictures, show me what videos you took, or anything like that. I was like, well, let's get an Apple TV, hook it up to the TV, press, one button, AirPlay, boom, I can share stuff on the TV screen. It just worked. And then, so you can kind of notice the pattern. I start somewhere, and I really love the product, and so it just worked for me, and so I continued to expand over and over and over. And then a few months ago, I'm trying to do more video editing, trying to get, possibly develop apps, and everything. And I've had an iPhone, an iPad, and now they're announcing stuff with handoff and all these features that connect it even more. I'm like, why not get a MacBook? It just works, and that's what I did, and it works. I love it. And so now Apple Watch. I mean, it's one of those things that, call me an Apple fanboy or whatever, but the fact of the matter is, I didn't go into this blindly loving everything Apple does. I went into it being won over by one solid product, and that led me to another, which led me to another, to another, to another. And next thing I know, I'm like all Apple, basically. I have all these Apple products. And it just works. That's what I like about it. And I don't just say that just to sound like Apple's perfect. They're not. Apple devices have a few issues here and there and stuff. I mean, it's not perfect. Nothing is. But I don't have to worry about technology. It works for me. And the Apple Watch, I think, I don't have to worry about paying. I just, boop, done. I pay. I don't have to worry about, who's contacting me or whatever. I have access to all of that right on my wrist, right here. I can send messages. I can quickly get in touch with other people from around the world. Boom, right here. This device connects me to the world. And that to me is really interesting. It's really cool. I like that kind of connectivity. And that's why I'm excited about the Apple Watch. I mean, yeah, $349. That's one thing that a lot of people are not happy about. For me, I went in kind of expecting it. The thing is, I'm realistic. It's not that I forgive Apple for this kind of thing. Apple devices are overpriced. There's no going around it. Apple products are all overpriced. But the fact of the matter is, every Apple product that I've gotten has been great quality. I have loved the product. So yeah, they are overpriced, absolutely. But I have never been disappointed by an Apple product too. So there's kind of a give and take there, Whereas if I were to not spend as much money and get something else, I may or may not be disappointed. There's not as much of a trust there in a way. I kind of trust Apple now. It's not that I blindly follow anything. I trust them because they've won me over. The Apple Watch, other smartwatches out there, $250, maybe up to $300 for some. There's prices. And so when you think of it that way, I was expecting, around at least $300. That was kind of what I was thinking. And then you add how overpriced Apple products are, $350. It fits. I mean, that's good or bad. And look, my phone just buzzed. I don't know what it was. It's an email. So I random side tangent, but it's just, I can be recording this video, boom, I know what it is. It's not important, I can continue recording, done. Anyways, what was the thing? The Apple Watch, I expected the price, honestly. Just looking at competitors and then expecting how Apple obviously has things more expensive, I expected it, and so I was prepared for it. It just, the Apple products, they do a lot of stuff. You know, like with all the apps that are going to be available and everything, there's going to be so much for it. So because of that, I think it's going to be worth it to me. I'm really excited about it. I am prepared to purchase it, and I am really looking forward to it. So for that, I mean, that is that. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I've kind of gone on about a million different things. I hope I didn't bore you guys to death. But that is the Apple Watch. Yeah, I'm excited about it. And I'm ready for the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. I actually made my own little mock-ups just to kind of compare and see. I made them with cardboard to try and compare. My guess is I'm thinking about the 6 Plus. I wanted the 6, and I'm a bit of a hypocrite about this because I actually hated on the big phones. I thought they were kind of pointless. I was like, why would you have such a huge phone to do stuff with? I mean, I guess I understand the big screen, and that's pretty cool, but it just seemed like it was so much to carry around. I was like, is this going to fit in your pocket, this and that? But then when they started talking about better battery life and optical image stabilization, I was like, you know, that might be kind of useful, and especially with the Apple Watch using Bluetooth and this and that, I was like, all right, I might want the better battery. So I actually made a mock-up, and I wanted to see if it fits in my pocket. I took it around with me all day today, just to get a feel for if I had a device this big, how would it be? And, you know, not bad, I guess. So I think I might go for the iPhone 6 Plus, so we'll see how that goes. Pre-orders are this Friday, midnight Pacific time, so I'll be up at 3 a.m. on the East Coast. Me and my sisters are all going to be pre-ordering, so we'll be awake in the morning, ready to pre-order. I think they're both going to get the 6, but I'm getting the 6 Plus. Probably the Space Gray, and probably the 64 gigabyte one, because there's the 16, 64, 128. 16 gigabytes is too little for me, so I have to go to the next route, so I guess that's 64 gigabytes. So more than I expected, the cost, because I went into it thinking I was going to get the iPhone 6, but I think the 6 Plus might be a good route for me to take, so that's probably what I'll end up doing. And then the Apple Watch next year, so we'll see how that goes. So that is that. So if you are still watching, which if you are, you know, good job, you survived, I guess. Let me know what you think of the Apple Watch, whether you agree or disagree, and please be respectful to me, to others. Everybody has their own opinions, but don't hate on like the Apple Watch because, you know, you think it's like, what's the point? Why is it a phone on your wrist? You know, it's not. That's not what it is. If you don't understand what it is, then don't waste your time, you know, complaining about it. There's other valid things to complain about. You know, you don't like the design of it. You know, you don't like the control method, the price, or there's plenty of valid things to complain about. But to me, the one thing that kind of bugged me a little bit was, you know, online you see people that are like, you know, it's the same thing as your phone. Why would you get it? What's the point? You don't. Those people just don't understand what a smartwatch truly is capable of. And in time, I think we'll see. I said it last year in my last vlog, why an iWatch would be huge for Apple, and here we are, they're announcing it, and I think it is going to be huge. I think it is going to take off. And so, you know, we'll find out for sure, but I really do think it's going to be big, and I am excited about it. So that is that. Whenever it comes out, I will obviously do some sort of an unboxing, or I don't know, whatever it is. I'll kind of talk about it more in the future when the time comes. But for now, that is that. That is my thoughts on the Apple Watch. I hope you guys enjoy the vlog. Hope you didn't die of boredom throughout this whole thing. And I just wanted to kind of get all that off my chest. That's that. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you guys later.